Good morning. Working on a little project out here. I'm just spin around here, you guys can see all those beautiful rows. I've been working on this soil out here for 2 years, I believe, about 2 years. I'm gonna shut this tractor down so I can chat with y'all while I work my way around this project. And I just want to show you what I've done, and I have like this moral battle in my head. So what we have right here is rabbit manure. There's a lot of it. Me and my buddy Eli shoveled out about 15 of these tubs the other day out of the rabbit barn. The moral battle I have in my head is pretty often I struggle with, hey, maybe I should go buy a big bag of fertilizer, you know, and just start fertilizing out here, and it would make it so much easier. And you know, I'm sure I could produce a little more food because it'd be more evenly distributed and better overall balance and all of that. I'm sure it would be, you know, it would look right, it would look good. But in the end, it wouldn't be the product that I strive to put out. And I put this product out because I want this product for me. I want this product for my family. And I'm starting to look at how I could get some of this stuff out into the community. I think I'm going to start selling because I think there's going to be a lot of produce coming out of here. So I will likely make this a market garden, possibly a U-pick. I haven't decided what to do with it yet. I do have a lot of seed about to go in, and I'm a little behind, but I'm still in there. I can still get a good crop of food out of this for the winter crops. But I thought, like, man, I want to teach everyone how to grow food, and I've developed a really nice system here. Now, while some people just can't do what we do here, they still should have access to the best food. And in order to give people access to the best food, I need to grow it. So I don't believe in fertilizers. I don't like to use them. I haven't used them since we've been on this property. I've thrown some hollytone in some pots of some jaboticabas and stuff just because there's so many plants that I need to enrich them and feed them and stuff. And jabos are a project plant. They're like a bonsai. But I don't fertilize any of my fruiting trees. They all get the natural stuff like I do here with rabbit manure and soldier fly compost, worm compost, worm tea, all those things. But the young baby trees, figured they're not fruiting at the time anyway. They're just going to grow some wood and grow some leaves and just get bigger. So I don't believe that it's going to hurt them, but I don't particularly want to eat it. So the reason that I believe rabbit manure is so beneficial as a fertilizer is right here. If I just move a little bit of this soil, there's a worm right there. There is a lot of life in this soil. And it looks like soil at this point. And that's just from these guys crawling around in there and eating. They eat the rabbit manure. They absolutely love rabbit manure. It's like worm candy. Look at them all. There's so many worms in here. This came straight out from underneath the cages. They break it down. You know, worm castings are one of the most popular things that we can use in our gardens. So if you just feed the worms in place, they come up, they eat the stuff, they create the worm castings right here. Sorry about that. But I really wanted to show everybody what I'm doing. I really did want to just throw fertilizer on this field because this is a lot of work. Piling up in here. I'm doing this by hand. I'm literally putting my hands in the piles of rabbit gack, and some of it's wet. This was disgusting, but it's what it takes. It takes devotion, it takes a little sacrifice, but ultimately I'm providing the best possible product that I can to my customers, to my family, to myself. So I highly encourage you, if you have any kind of feelings about wanting quality food, to put in the time, put in the work. I'm doing it for you guys. I'm going to have a lot of food out here. The soil is so beautifully rich. It's been worked for a long time. And I've really put in a lot of effort into it. I've turned it a lot. There's been a lot of vehicles driving on it to mash it down and beat it all up, turn it into good soil. I think we're going to be very successful out here, as opposed to 2 years ago when this was all a white sandy beach and I couldn't grow anything. So here we go. I've spread the first 7 tubs. This is where I got 7 tubs. These rows are 60 feet long. I walked them off the other day. It's 60 by about 80, I think it was. Or maybe these are 80 long and 60 wide. It was something like that. But I still have a good bunch of rows. I'm not going to complete this whole thing with what I have. That was my other battle, is how much do I have? How much rabbit manure do I have to use? Because I have another 2 acres to work and enrich, and this is how I have fertilized all of my plants for the last 10 years, is all rabbit manure and compost and stuff. And the rabbit manure has been clutch for me. So I just decided to go for it. Rabbit manure makes itself. You know, they just keep feeding the rabbits and growing the food. And look at these papayas. Look at them setting their first fruits. They grew into the ground. They grew through the pots. I had a bunch of nursery stock up here, and they grew through the pots and just decided to get gigantic and set fruit. Love these papayas. Are growing so well for me. Easy growers. But this is all going to be annuals out here. I've got some lettuce mix, a bunch of different kales, arugula, a large amount of dill. I've really been struggling with dill, so I'm going to go for it big this year. I really want a lot of dill. I love my pickles. We got a lot of cilantro going in. I got a stack of seeds from Urban Farmer. Really great seed company. Their seeds have been really reliable. There's a lot of beans about to go in. Think we're gonna get to skate through on this frost. I might wait on the beans another month or so and let me get through danger of frost, and then maybe we'll throw the beans in. But for all these brassicas, I want them in like yesterday. I would have preferred earlier, but I had a lot of material out here I had to burn. You can see the last of it cooking right there, but everything you see there was covered in a 12-foot high pile of brush, and we've broken it down, and really it's gone really well. So lots of room to grow out here. This is not actually my property. This was donated by my most generous neighbor to the cause. He said, make it happen, buddy. I don't know what to do with this piece of land, but I think you do, so make something happen. So that was a couple of years ago, about 3 years ago, and we're about to turn out a bunch of food. Feed the community, feed the world, all natural, 100% natural feeding. There's no fertilizer up here. There's not going to be any pesticide up here unless I decide to grow a row of squash, and I will use spinosad or BT. I have probably one of each, maybe alternate back and forth between the two. I will only spray the tips of the plants and the bases down by the ground where the vine borers will hit. But that is the only thing I will ever spray, and usually I do it once and I lose interest and I stop doing it and all my plants die. Because it's labor intensive to keep up with the sprays. I don't like doing it. Spinosad's harmless. BT is harmless. It doesn't hurt us. There's no danger to us at all. And the way I apply it so acutely in these little tiny spots, you know, just the first 6-8 inches of the tips where the pickle worms like to hit. So I'm going to get back to it. I got a bunch more rabbit manure to spread. I'm going to put my filthy hands in this stuff. Oh, it's so nasty. It smells so bad. But it produces the best stuff. So give me a couple months and I'll have some food available for you guys. The best stuff on the planet. It doesn't get any fresher. It doesn't get any better. If you think to yourself, where can I get the best food possible? What is the best food if you define it? To me, if I define it, the word is fresh. If you go to the best restaurant in the world, it's fresh food. We want fresh, organic food. And it doesn't get any fresher than farm fresh with no fertilizer. All natural system, regenerative, keep growing all this stuff. I can take it, I can feed it right back to the rabbits. The rabbits will continue to poop, and I will continue to collect and continue to bring it out here and put it on these rows. And the more I can grow, the more I can feed them, and the cycle just rolls on, and I don't have to go outside of here to buy anything to feed my gardens. That is the ultimate goal. So I'm gonna get back to work. See you guys later. Have a good day. Grow your gardens. All right, this majority of this field is now planted. I've got 2 rows left, so I just wanted to show you guys, since the $1,000,000 question is always, what did you plant? I put a bunch of these marigolds scattered throughout a few rows. A whole bunch of bright light Swiss chard. That envelope is empty. Everything else I have lots of seed left. Dazzling blue kale. It's a beautiful kale, just like lacinato, like the dinosaur kale, but it happens to be blue. Mammoth Long Island dill. There's a lot of dill out there. Giant red mustard, one of our favorites. Kelly loves it, real spicy. Lacinato kale, that's the dinosaur kale. Georgia Southern collards. Our rabbits love them. Very high calcium content, really, really good for the rabbits, so we always plant those. Slow bolt cilantro, one of our very favorites. I peppered that in several beds, a few rows here and there. Lots of parsley. We'll dry a whole bunch of it, probably have some available to sell. Garden sorrel. This was a tricky one to get to germinate. I figured the coldest time of the year is my best shot. This stuff is delicious, and I got it to go through a couple of seasons before it crashed. Rainbow carrots. There are many rows of carrots out there. I don't think you can ever have too many carrots. Garden leaf blend lettuce. There's like 3 or 4 different kinds of lettuces in there. I figured it would be nice texture for some salads. A couple of rows of astro arugula, also great flavor into a salad. And this is a nice little blend of string beans. These will go in shortly. I think I'll probably wait till like March 1st to put these in. I don't know, I might squeak them in. I'm watching the weather like a freak. Trying to make sure I don't make a mistake and plant stuff that doesn't need to be planted, because I hate losing big crops. And you plant beans at the wrong time and it's quite easy to lose the entire crop, because man, when a cold comes through, it'll melt your beans down to nothing. So I haven't decided to plant those yet, but they will be going in shortly. So that's what I did. I did everything with the old earthway seeder, with these seed plates. This old guy right here, this is my baby. I have done many great things with that. Sorry about that. The earthway just rolls the seeds in the ground. Really neat mechanism. The front wheel there rolls, turns this little belt, which turns that seed plate, which picks up the seeds. I'll pull this out of here so you can see. There's a little hole right there. So the seed plate picks up the seed right there. There's a little cup, and it picks it up and drops it right into that hole, which then drops it right down out of this chute, straight down and out the bottom right there, drops it into this little aluminum wedge, which cuts the little trough, and then the chain comes behind, pulls the soil back over top of it, and then the tamper wheel at the back flattens it all out. It really does an amazing job. I planted many thousands of seeds just now, and I did it in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe. So really plants a huge amount of food in a very short time. And we've had very good luck with this Urban Farmer. I highly recommend. My buddy Alan's been using them for a long time. I started using them a couple years ago. The seeds have been great. Things have come out really good, so I'm happy with that. I like Seed the Stars also. They just don't seem to quite have the bulk that I needed. They're local, but they just don't have, they're not selling the amounts that I needed. I was buying ounce and quarter pounds of seeds and stuff, so had to go to a little bigger company. But there we go. This giant bed is planted up with a ton of food, and we will be eating well. So I'll do some updates on this bed for sure. This is my largest planting to date. Fully organic, 100%. did a lot of burning out here, so there was a lot of material burned in here, so there's a lot of ash in this area, a lot of good nutrients that have been mixed in the soil. There's a ton of biochar in there. I hope it doesn't lock up too much nutrient, but we're gonna see. It's just an experiment. With the amount of rabbit manure I have in here, I should have no problems getting some really good growth in. And I'll add, this is kind of the side-by-side. How well does that side grow as opposed to that side that has all the rabbit manure? So it's going to be a really fun side-by-side project. See you guys later.